Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to more Momir's Madness. For anyone who is new and doesn't know the format, as always, I will give a brief little recap at the very start of this video. This is the format where you spend X mana to get a random creature from the entirety of the program with a converted mana cost of X. Both of our decks are filled with nothing but basic lands, and we can only get a creature once per turn by discarding a card. So, this format is pretty random. There's a little bit of strategy I will be using, and that is basically I'm just going to skip 1 mana because most of the 1 mana cards aren't going to be super effective once there's more creatures on the board. In general, like a 1-1 or a 2-1 isn't really going to matter once we get to turn 3 and beyond, just because creatures are going to be so much bigger than that by then. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You also have to watch out at 6 mana because you could randomly get Demon Lord Belzenlock, who will kill you on the spot. But let's just get right into it and see how this goes. Vidalcan Mesmerist seems like it's probably a pretty good card to get here. Basically, the only thing that's ever going to happen in these games is just combat steps and combat math and stuff like this, and this helps a lot with that. I can basically shut off a dangerous blocker, say they get a 2-4 or something like that. I can just be like, bam, what now? And then their creatures will be much less good at blocking. However, that Raptor Hatchling is a really good card for them to get here. Even if I do subtract its power when I attack, that will turn into a 3-3 trample, which is a lot more exciting than a 1-1. So I might just not attack yet. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to get rid of that at some point. Now that I have a 3-power creature of my own, I'm not really scared of the 3-3 trample. Odds are it's just gonna trade for my 3-2. It is a lot better blocker than the 1-1, but the thing is, if the 1-1 were still on the board, I would still just not be attacking in order to make sure they didn't get the trampler. This card's interesting, but no one's ever going to get a planeswalker, so it is just a 3-mana 3-3. Could be a little bit scarier in a deck actually using planeswalkers, but these are not those. So I'm going to take 1 damage here. This Mesmerist just got shut off basically immediately by their 3-3s. Alright. Looks like we're stuck on 3 colors, which doesn't really matter in Momir, but it would be unfortunate if we randomly get an ability that wants white or blue mana. Golgari Finebroker is a very nice card. I guess I'll pick up another mountain. Anything that lets you draw a card in Momir is basically going to let you get to a higher mana cost. The highest mana cost that really matters in Momir, on Arena at least, is basically 9 mana. At 10 mana, you can get a 16/16 Indestructible, which sounds really good, but it can be chump blocked really easily, so if your opponents manage to get a Verdant Force at 8 mana, then it's just not going to do much of anything. Most of the 9-drops, I think, are a little scarier than a 16/16 Indestructible, ironically, because there are, or not most of the 9-drops, most of the 8-drops, because there are ones with flying, vigilance, trample, that kind of stuff, and at 9 mana you have Zakama, who has vigilance and trample and reach and a bunch of abilities. I think just stuff with trample is going to be a lot scarier. I don't know if I should attack here. No, they can just block with their 2-4 and their 2-1. So combat is not good right now. I do have a 4-1 flyer, which is pretty nice. Their 2/4 they just got will be a 4/4 flyer if they manage to get an artifact creature, so that's kind of scary, but it's not insanely likely they'll get an artifact creature, so we just have to hope they don't. Ooh, that card is very nice. I like that guy a lot. He's not like super scary in Momir, but I still like just 5 mana 7/3. But yeah, I've played that guy a little bit in a Starkins Unsealing deck, and it's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm not really scared of what my opponent's doing right now, so I'll just lose a little bit of power level in order to make sure I don't give any chance of dying to Bells and Lock. I think that my board is a lot more threatening than theirs currently, just because my guy's actually flying. The second this guy gets flying, I think our boards are pretty even, but until then I am on the offensive. Opponent's going for 6. We got a Vivectus Asmati, which is very, very good. Whenever it attacks, they get to make me sacrifice my best creature, basically. And they sacrifice their shittiest creature, and then we both get a land. That's going to be pretty hard to beat. Let's see what we get at 7. We could get a Meteor Golem or something to get rid of it immediately. That would be nice. We got the Double Strike guy, which is interesting. It's not immediately scary, because it doesn't do anything until it's attacking, so they could just make me sacrifice it with their Vivectus. Vivectus was a really good draw for them. Followed by Pelaka Worm to put them back to full health. This is rough. They're thinking a lot. I don't know why. I would just sack the 3/3. Probably, yeah, just trade their 3/3 for my 3/3. Mine's got double strike, though. So rest in peace, that guy. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. It doesn't matter what I get. Even if I get Zakama, Zakama will just die. So I need to hit a Meteor Golem. I don't think there's anything at 8 mana. Plus we sacrifice the permanents, so even if I get the 16/16 trample, that'll just die. Or the 16/16 indestructible, that'll just die. If I get Zatalpo's almost always really good. It's like a 4/8 double strike vigilance flying indestructible crazy thing. But Vivectus makes a sacrifice, so even that will just die. So I have to go for 7 mana for Meteor Golem or 4 mana for Hostage Taker, something like that. I'll go for 7 mana. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Actually, that's super, super nice. I might have to use my Hourglass here. So if I attack with everybody, they have 3 blockers. So if I attack with everybody, the most damage they can stop is... Well, they could stop all 3, and then they take 8, and then I just die on the crackback. I can hit them for 8 for sure. If I send this guy in, they block with their 7/3 or their 7/7. Or they take 10. So when they attack, they get to get rid of one of my blockers. Probably just die to frickin' trample. Man, this sucks. I think I have to save everyone back. I should have played the land, but I was stuck on time. So I kind of just forgot. Yep. And they will just casually get Zakama as their first 9-drop. Couldn't have been any of the 2 shitty ones. It's gotta be the one good one. Well, that was a game. There's still literally nothing I can do, because even if I get Zakama, they make me sack it immediately. Now there's definitely nothing I can do. I mean, they haven't played any mountains. They've discarded 2 mountains. So their Zakama's actually not scary at all. So if I get a Meteor Golem, I can still win. But that's all. It's like I'd have to get Meteor Golem now, and then Zakama next turn, and then use my Zakama to kill their Zakama. But I did not get that. I got a Kazarov, which is usually super good. Good old BMs. Kazarov is usually super good, but he will just get sacrificed. And then my only flying blocker is a 4/1, which I have to chump with. And on the ground, they have 16 power of trample, and I only have 8 toughness, so I don't know why they're thinking so hard. They have me dead on board. They have me dead on board. Are you honestly still thinking? There we go. Jesus Christ. I love it when your opponent BMs and then just can't even do math. Sad day. So there goes game 1. We will make the blocks regardless. Let's actually send that there, put most of our stuff to stop that. We're still super dead. But we might as well make the ideal blocks. Defeat. Alright, on to game 2. We're going to start with a mountain. Mountains are probably the best land to play out. Just because if you get anything with the red activated ability, it's probably a really good ability that you want to be using. An ability like Kazarov's ability or Zakama's ability to do damage to creatures. We got a Sage of Latnam. It's very unlikely that that effect comes into play, but it might. There are some things that make Thopters still, I think. Not a lot anymore. I think there's only like 1 or 2 since Kaladesh rotated out. But yeah, odds are even if we get a Thopter, then we'll just want to attack with it because it's a flying creature. They do have a 2/2 reach though. Catalyst Elemental is very nice. It is only a 2/2, but I can sack it for 2 mana. And actually just randomly, just playing a 7-drop on turn 5 instead of turn 7 seems like it could end pretty sweet. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I could also play an 8-drop on turn 6, since I usually like to skip 6 mana cards anyway. I think I might do that. I don't know, it also feels like the earlier I use that mana, the more powerful of an effect it's going to be. So that might be the wrong play. But I think it's still what I'm going to do. I like 8-drops a lot. Zatalpa's insane. Verdant Force is insane. And the bad 8-drops are a 7/7, an 8/8, and a 9/9. And I think on turn 6, those are still pretty insane. Turn 8, they're not that crazy. This guy's got Menace, but that's not really going to matter. There's so many creatures on the board already, and there's just going to keep being more of them. Let's see what we get. 5. X, where X is the number of wizards I control. I have 1. That doesn't matter. I'm trying to think if I could push through a combat by doing that, and it's like I could, but I want this Catalyst Elemental. If this were a 2/2 with no abilities, then I could do that, just to hit him for 2, but even then I'd probably just want to save it to block their 3/2. We got... This guy just gives them life when it's dealt damage. It's not that crazy. We're going to go for 8. We got an 8/8. Definitely the least exciting of the 8-drops. Could have waited and tried to cheat out a 9-drop there, but that would be even more hit or miss. That would be... Like, 9-drops is straight up. If you don't get Zakama, you just get a pile of shit. Like, you get a 7/5 hexproof or a 6/6. I guess... Actually, the 6/6, if you're cheating the 6/6 out early, then it's actually pretty good, because it returns one of your lands to the battlefield. So I probably should have went for 9-drops. Then I'd have a 66% chance of getting something insane. Because, yeah, if I went turn 7, get a 6/6 and ramp up, that would actually be pretty good. So I'm going to take 8 here. If they don't do anything else, if they just want to swing in with their guys. I'm actually pretty surprised they did not want to get my 8/8 off the board there. But I guess they were like expecting their next card to be played to be a large creature, which is exactly what it was and what it was most likely to be. So that was probably a good play. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They gave me the good game, but they're not dead yet. They take 2 damage if they block with their reach creature and their flying creature. Oh, I think they're giving me the preemptive GG because this Brontodon can get really big and just kill me. 7, so that's 14 trample damage coming at me. I'm not actually dead, I think. And they're not actually dead either. So I don't know what the GG was about. Because neither of us is dead yet. Wait, what? Why? What? What? Did they not read the trample? They might have not read the trample. Oh my god, if they wanted to chump with just one of their creatures, they just had to block with the one with 3 toughness. Well, that was crazy. I might have actually been dead next turn. I don't know how indestructible works against trample. I think that they still get to trample over even though it's indestructible. So they would still get to trample over for lethal if I blocked with just Zakama, so I'd have to block with that and something else. Or not Zakama, Zatalpa. So, and then I guess with the number of creatures they had and the number I had, they could get through with some damage. And I was only at 6, so they might have been able to kill me. We're going to discard a second Plains. Knight of Grace is one of the best 2-drops you can get. 2/2 first strike is pretty sweet. It's also very likely that it will be a 3/2 at some point, because if either of us gets a black creature, then it is, and they got a black creature, so that's very nice. I guess we'll play a forest, because the island did not want to come out for some reason. Discard the second one. Actually, no, we want 3 mountains if we ever get a Zakama. So I'll start discarding mountains once I draw another one. Opponent drops a 2/3 that does not have a relevant ability, so it is just a 2/3. Let's see if we can get a black creature here. That would be very nice. Nope, but it is a super nice card. Not like insanely nice because its second ability doesn't do anything. It's kind of just a 4-mana 1/1. And it kills any creature, which is fine. It's like a weaker Lurking Chupacabra. Or not Lurking, Ravenous Chupacabra is the one that's a 4-mana 2/2 that destroys a creature when it comes into play. They're going for it. That's interesting. If I were them, I might have played more defensively, but that's just like a playstyle choice thing. I would have just kept it back, that way the only thing that I would get hit for is 2 this turn. Or I'd just trade it for the, basically the hexproof creature. If they did want to attack. So I have 2 like really good Ixalan limited cards if I were playing a Ixalan vampire deck, but we're playing Momir. So they kind of don't do anything. It's a 3/4 vigilance for 5, and then a 1/1 Chupacabra. That still does something, but there's a lot of text on these cards that's meaningless right now. They got a very nice 5-drop, but it's not as good defensively as it is offensively. We're going to keep being all superstitious about Bells and Lock and not play a 6-mana card. So definitely setting in the first strike. I think we're just still setting in the team, except for the 1/1. 1/1 is pretty pointless against that 2/2. I guess I probably should have set the 1/1 in as well. Because what most likely would have happened there is it just does 1 more damage. Like, it helps me sneak in a little bit more damage. And if they wanted to spend one of their blockers to kill that, then probably fine, just to get more damage in. They got a Tetsamok. Doesn't do much. It is a 6/6 death touch, so if I end up with something larger than a 6/6, that will kill it. We got a 5/5 trample, that's nice. So if I attack with everyone, they take 3, 6, 7. I should have attacked with the 1/1 last turn, because then they'd be dead. See, there I go, learning from my mistakes. They would have been dead. I think my opponent didn't do the math, and they blocked a 3/3 instead of a 4/4, and it got them killed. So that's pretty neat. I mean, I'll take it. I need all the help from my opponents that I can get, because I am not particularly good at Magic either. Alright. Next game. Opponent is thinking about which color they want to play. Probably looking at Ravnica Legion spoilers or something. Well, opponent has gone to time. The timer is out. They have dropped a forest. Are they going to play something? They've got like 3 seconds left. Opponent, no! Opponent timed out. I mean, they played the land. That's the most important thing. Nice, that is a 3/1. Well, usually that would be nice, but in Momir, I think that just means whatever they play this turn is just going to trade for it. I think it's very unlikely they get a creature with 0 power, but that would be pretty sweet. If somehow they get, I don't know, the 0/3 that explores or something like that, then this 3/1 is straight gas. Oh, I think they added if you click the Scorpion, yeah, he speeds up now. It used to be if you click him, nothing would happen. But now you can play with the little Scorpion friend. What is this? Oh, I can hide the Momir thing? Why would I do that? I need to use it. They got a 1/1. That is unfortunate, but that... that just makes me feel sad about getting the 3/1. This is going to be the saddest trade ever. Let's not even trade. We'll save the 3/1 back, so that later it can trade with the 3/3 when they're attacking me. I think if opponent gets like the 1/2 that creates a 1/1 Thopter, that would be a beautiful draw for the opponent. Because then they could use the artifact creature, just sack that, shoot 3/1. But I mean, they might even... in this situation want to keep the 1/1 flyer. Yeah, I doubt the Orcish Vandal's ever going to get to do anything. Okay, so Skizzix is going to die end of turn, which is pretty rough. You usually want your cards to have a lasting impact. I'm going to actually attack with everyone here. And the reason is if I attack with just the 3/3, they can block the 3/3 with the 2/3 and the 1/1. And then I have to trade my 3/3 for their 2/3. If I attack with everything, they can make the same block, but I can sneak 3 damage in with the 3/1. And it looks like attacking with the 3/3 and the 3/1 convinced them to use their 1/1 to trade with my 3/1 and then just chump the 3/3 with the 2/3, which I'm much happier with than trading the 3/3 for the 2/3. So they got a 2/2 Menace. So the fact that I got to keep my 3/3 makes it is like actually a pretty sweet thing since they only got a 2/2 on turn 4. Turns out the 3/3 body is still irrelevant. I can still attack with that boy. Could also have just held them back in order to keep their Menace guy off me, but I am at 20 and they are at 12, so any damage I'm doing to them is more important than damage I'm taking back. I would absolutely spend 12 life to do 12 damage to them at this point. That guy's pretty sweet. 6/3 trample, and they can spend a bunch of red mana to make creatures unable to block. That is pretty good when you're in a good situation, but on the current board, it's not super exciting because it's not very good defensively. Glorifier of Dusk is really good. I can pay some life to get Flying and Vigilance. That's another one of those cards, a lot more exciting offensively than defensively, but the difference is I'm in the offensive position. My opponent got a really good offensive card in the defensive position, which is not what you want. But they can also just trade their 6/3 for the 4/5, which is fine. That's probably what I would do, and then just take the 3. Oh, they're just going to chump the 3? That is fine with me. I think there is there is an argument to be made for just chumping some damage in Momir because every turn your creatures just keep getting bigger and bigger. So like they're playing under the impression that at some point they will get something that stops this 3/3 from attacking. They will get like a 4/5 of their own or a 6/6 or something. And then the 3/3 will just be pointless. So they got a 5/4. Alright. Let's give you Flying. I should have played my card main phase 1. Because I don't think there's anything with Raid, but there is stuff with Haste. Yeah, I should have main phase 1'd it, because I got the guy with Haste. That was pretty awkward. The odds of actually getting a Haste creature at 7 are... I have to assume like 25% or less. I know there's Derrygaz and Gishath. Wait, no, Gishath is 8, I think. So yeah, there's just Derrygaz. It's the only one that's a 7-drop with haste that I can think of. So Magic Arena's trolling me a little bit. Not that that's not a good 7-drop. That's a really good 7-drop. But Arena's like, hey, if you would have played this guy main phase 1, you would have just won immediately, you derp. I got too excited about sending in with my Glorifier. Yeah, had I actually played that guy main phase 1, I would kill my opponent this turn, but instead I get to put them to 2 life. So that is a little bit awkward. Definitely should have played it main phase 1. The punt count expands. And it might matter a lot here, because if they get a large flyer, then they get to gain a bunch of life from their Verdant Sun's avatar, and then they get to block one of my flyers, and then they'll probably be alive. So if they get a large flyer here and just make a comeback, then I'm going to feel really stupid. But the odds are really low, because it has to be a large flyer that is also good enough to stop my double strike dude. And that is not that. That is a Polyraptor. So they are tremendously dead. We'll just send him in. It takes a lot less clicks to just send Derrygaz in than it does to pay the life and do that guy flying and send that in as well. I could have just clicked attack with all, I guess. Actually, no, because that would have taken a lot longer. That is something I was thinking about during their turn, is because they got Polyraptor, I was like, wait, could they live if I swing with my double strike guy? Because then first strike damage makes a Polyraptor, and they gain life when that Polyraptor comes into play, but then I was like, nah, because my whole team gets double strike, so that's 14 double striking damage in the air. Like, because it was a 7/7 with double strike, like, 14 air damage, even if they get some extra Polyraptors and gain some extra life, was going to be lethal. But yeah, it would have taken a lot longer just with all the triggers going on the stack. The opponent doesn't even want to play a 2-drop. Do I even want to play a 2-drop? Do I want to just chill with my opponent and just go into the late game here? No, I'll play a 2-drop. I'm on the draw, so I can play a 2-drop and still make it like all the way to 9 mana, I think. I got a 3/1. That's not what I want to see. Anything they get is probably going to trade with it. I mean, the fact that they get to play a 3-drop this turn means that the 3/1's actually probably fine. Because odds that they'll get something that's a little bit better than a 3/1 but also trades with a 3/1 is pretty likely. Like, see, that is quite a bit better than a 3/1, but it also trades with a 3/1, and I'll be attacking first, so that makes my 3/1 actually pretty useful, because it will probably kill their 3/3 Death Touch. Or do 3 damage to them. And if they want to crack back at me, I will gladly trade a 2/2 Death Touch for a 3/3 Death Touch. It's possible they just want to keep their Death Touch creature all the way into the late game, just so I can't attack with any large trampling creatures or stuff like that. That way they can just kill them. Or just large creatures in general. Leonin Warleader, well, they are going to get 2 1/1 lifelink cats, but I'm going to kill them. Or I'm going to kill the War Leader, for sure. Let's actually discard a Plains. Got a 2/5 that untaps a creature. Alright, well they have a 4/4 out now, so I'm not attacking with the 3/1. Or it untaps any permanent when it's dealt damage, so I don't think that will ever be relevant. but we'll see. If I ever get a creature with a tap ability, he'll let me use it twice. If I use the tap ability and then I block something and then I use the tap ability again, like, I guess that's okay. They got a pretty good card, 3/4 flying. The only really important part of that is just flying, you know? Flying is good. Did I discard a forest earlier? I am a fool. Yeah, I discarded a forest. Alright, well, if I get any green abilities, then they're not going to happen. I'll go ahead and discard planes here. There's one card with a double white ability. There might be more. I know there's the Angel at 3 mana that has an ability that costs multiple white that you'd want to use. But I can't think of any others. Obviously, in red abilities, you have Kazrov to deal damage to creatures and Zakama to deal damage to creatures. Always make sure I have like 3 mountains. Psychic Symbiont is freaking incredible in all these random formats. The Amazonian draft and Momir, that card's just insane. It's got flying and lets them get to 1 higher mana and makes me get to 1 lower mana. So my options here are to play a 5-drop because I'm scared of Demon Lord, or to play a 6-drop because I'm not in a very good spot right now, and 6-drop has a decent amount of flyers in reach. Or to not play anything. That way I make it to 9 mana instead of just making it to 8 mana. Problem is I'm taking 6 next turn. I think I need a way to stop that. I'm going to go for 6. Don't really want to take 6. That's a pretty not good card. It combos super well with my 4/4, actually. I should have just attacked with the 4/4. Because, yeah, it just trades with their 3/3 Death Touch or their 4/4. But then it spits out a 1/1, which gains me a couple life and I draw a card. Or gains me 1 life and I draw a card. So I actually do have one thing that works with the 1/4. So even though it's just a 1/4, I get to draw 1 card and gain 1 life. If I get a Verdant Force, that will be really, really good, but odds are not super high of that. They got a 5/7. Oh, shit. I think I'm dead. Creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able. Jesus. Oh man, I think I just died of that. That's insane. Watch, I'm gonna get the haste creature and have to swing with it. Nope. God, I've never seen that card before. That's super good. And now they just get to make really good blocks here. Like, they can block my 4/4 with their 5/7 and just eat it. They can block my 2/5 with their Death Toucher and kill it. They can block my 3/1 with their 4/4 and just kill it. Man. That is rough. At least I get to gain 1 life and draw 1 card. This turtle guy's awesome. Let's be honest here. Never seen that turtle before, and now I'm just going to get demolished by it. So I don't die immediately, but I die next turn. The amount of things that save me here have gone from slim to nothing at this point, I think. Because that thing has hexproof too, so I can't even get a way to kill it. I got the combo. I got the Verdant Force to gain more life and draw more cards, which is super cute. But now they just get to eat my my 1/4. But yeah, even though they got that awesome turtle, actually looking at the way the game has gone, the turtle didn't matter at all. Because the only damage that I've taken this whole game has been from their flyers. Or not the whole game, but since the turtle came out, has just been from their flyers. Which would have been there regardless, and I just never got anything with flying the whole game. That's what actually killed me, not just the turtle. Just not ever getting a flyer. Well, there goes that Momir event. I believe we went 3-2. Maybe we only went 2-2. Let's see. Yep, 3 wins and 2 losses. Not terrible. And we got a mythic, so let's see what we got. Sky Terror, come on. Something good. I don't even know what's good. Multani's cool. Multani's pretty sick. I don't think I've seen him see any play in ranked competitive. But he's super cool. And he's so strong just looking at his stats. Like, he has 6 mana and that's a lot, but like, the 6 mana 6/6 reach trample that can come back from the grave. And if you've milled yourself, he's even bigger. Like, he seems just on the cusp of being able to be like a really good card, actually, in Standard. So yeah, those were some pretty good prizes. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another Momir's Madness. Bye-bye.